Whiskers and Paws, a tale of two best friends ***. Once upon a time in a cozy little town, there lived two cats. Whiskers and Paws. Whiskers, a sleek grey tabby, was known for her sharp wit and adventurous spirit. Paws, a round and fluffy orange cat, was more laid back and loved to nap in sunbeams. Despite their differences, the two were inseparable. They had been through everything together, from chasing mice in the backyard to getting into trouble with their human, Mrs. Finch, who was always so amused by their antics. One crisp autumn morning, Whiskers and Paws sat by the window, watching the birds flit about in the trees. The world outside looked so exciting, so free. Whiskers, always the curious one, had an idea. "Paws, let's go on an adventure," she purred. Paws yawned lazily and stretched. "We can't. Mrs. Finch will never let us outside." But Whiskers wasn't one to give up easily. "What if we sneak out while she's napping? We'll be back before she notices." And so, the two cats embarked on their first big adventure. Whiskers, with her agile body and clever mind, led the way. They snuck out through a small crack in the kitchen window and into the world beyond. The air was crisp, the grass was soft under their paws, and the world seemed endless. They explored the neighborhood, chasing leaves and climbing fences. At first, Paws was nervous, but soon he caught on to the thrill. He leaped over a garden wall, surprisingly nimble for his size. And they both ended up in a flower bed, laughing in their own cat way. But just as they were beginning to feel truly free, the two cats dashed back to the house, their hearts racing, just in time to hear the door open. They scrambled back inside through the window, narrowly escaping detection. Mrs. Finch, however, only smiled as she shook her head. She knew her two troublemakers were up to something, but decided to let them have their fun. "Just don't stay out too long, you little adventurers," she muttered with a smile. As time passed, Whiskers and Paws' adventures grew bolder. One winter evening, when snow blanketed the town, they heard a faint meowing coming from the alley behind their home. Whiskers, always the brave one, nudged Paws awake from his nap. "There's someone in trouble," she said. "We have to help." Paws, who was still half asleep, groggily followed her. They padded silently into the alley, where they found a tiny, trembling kitten huddled under a pile of leaves. The kitten was scared, shivering from the cold, and alone. "We can't just leave it out here," Whiskers said, her eyes softening with concern. Paws, though unsure at first, agreed. Together, they carefully nudged the kitten toward the warmth of their home, guiding it through the snow-covered streets. When they finally made it back, Mrs. Finch opened the door to find the three cats at her feet, the little kitten blinking up at her with wide, grateful eyes. "Well, it looks like we have a new friend," Mrs. Finch said, as she scooped up the kitten and brought it inside. "Looks like you two are always looking out for others." The little kitten, named Snow, became an instant part of their family. Whiskers taught Snow how to be brave, and Paws showed her the joy of lounging in the sun. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond of friendship, and their days were filled with more love and laughter than ever before. As the years passed, Whiskers and Paws grew older, but their bond remained as strong as ever. They still ventured into the world together, though now their adventures were slower and more thoughtful. They'd often spend hours watching the clouds roll by or sitting on the porch, sharing stories of their younger days. Snow had grown into a beautiful, confident cat, and while she now led the younger kittens of the neighborhood on their own adventures, she always knew where to find her two best friends. And sometimes, when the stars were out, she would find Whiskers and Paws sitting side by side, gazing at the night sky, content and at peace. "We've lived a good life, haven't we?" Whiskers would say, her voice full of satisfaction. "Better than good," Paws would reply, curling up beside her. "We've lived it together." And so, the three cats spent their days in comfort, their friendship unshakable, knowing that no matter where life took them, they would always have each other. ****, the end. ****.